What's up everybody, today we're going to be covering the new BT11 Shoutmon deck profile. It's one of those decks that just puts all of its cards together to make a really strong body where you get DP, Sec +1, Rush, Drawing, Piercing. You can go into different level boss monsters. Up first are the level 2s. We are running 4 of the Pikmons from BT10. What's important about this Digi-Egg is that it has Xcros in its traits, so all of our level 3s, no matter the color, will be able to evolve off of our Pikmons here. This card is good for just drawing into your pieces because ultimately that is going to be the strongest battle that you're going to be having with Xcros. That's all of the level 2s that we'll be running. Let's move on to the level 3s. First off, we're going to be running 4 of the Shoutmon BT10. This is your go-to level 3 that says on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card and 1 Tamer card with both Xcros and their traits among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. It has on deletion save. And what's really good about this is the inheritable that says while this Digimon has Shoutmon in the name, it gains Rush. Solid card when you Digicross. This is one of those cards you're going to want to put underneath your Digicross stack. Next, we're going to be talking about the playset of Starmons. Starmons is needed in the Digicross requirements, which is why we're going to be playing it. It has on deletion save, and it has an inheritable of when attacking. If this Digimon has Shoutmon in its name, draw 1. This card is really good for drawing into your deck when you are going into your Shoutmon combo. Next, we're going to be talking about the playset of Sparrowmons. This Sparrowmon digivolves 0 off of a level 2 with Xcross in its traits, so it can evolve off of the Pikmons that we're going to be bringing in this deck. It has an all turns effect. While you have another Digimon or Tamer with Xcross or Twilight in its traits, this Digimon gets plus 3000, so you could splash Sparrowmon in a Twilight deck, but mainly we're using this for Xcross, and getting that damage increase is really solid. It has a non-deletion save mechanic, and it also has a reboot effect on your opponent's turn if it's Shoutmon or Mervamon, which is really fun to use. Lastly, for our level 3s, we're going to be running 2 of the Shoutmon plus Star Sword. This card is really fun because it's treated both as a Shoutmon and a Starmon. So in case you can't find one Shoutmon or one Starmon in your Digicross, this card will serve you for either of the ones that you need to fulfill those Digicross requirements. It has an on play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 for the turn. Then if Digicrossing with 2 cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2000 or less. So it can essentially pop something that originally has 5000 on your opponent's side of the field if you're able to get the Digicross requirements intact. Level 4s, we're going to be running 4 of the Ballistamons. This card is really good because of the inheritable. Being able to get piercing with all the other inheritables that we mentioned is really fun and exciting. It's pretty much building a really strong body that gets all of the really good game mechanics. Ballistamon also serves as a blocker in case you need to go defense, and he only gets blocker if you have a Tamer with Xcross in its traits in play. It has the on deletion save, so it doesn't go away. You can use this for Digicross requirements later on. Moving on to the next level 4s, we're going to be running the 4 of Darulamon because we're going to need this piece for other Digicross requirements. He has an on-play effect of if you have another Digimon or Tamer with Xcross in its traits in play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 until the end of their turn. It has an on-deletion save. It can Digivolve 2 off of a level 3 with Xcross in its traits. It can Evo off of the Sparrowmon, or it can Evo off of the Shoutmon. The inheritable is really fun too. While your Digimon has Shoutmon in its name, all of your opponent's security get minus 2000, so you can swing and feel a lot more safe with Darulamon in your stack. Next up, we're going to be running 2 of the Shoutmon King. Some people may not be running this card, but the reason why we're running it is because we really do like the plus 2000 on the Shoutmon. In some situations, you're going to need that damage increase if you can't get it elsewhere. And what's also really fun about this card is you can return one card with Digicross requirements from your trash to your hand, and then when you Digicross, you can use that card as a Digicross requirement to make him a cheaper on play cost. So that's really fun about Shoutmon. He can bring something back in case something you need is in the trash. So splashing a 2 of Shoutmon King might come in handy. And then our last level 4 is going to be none other than the Shoutmon X4. This card is really strong if you're able to get all the pieces in play. You can only run a 1 of at the moment since they've limited this card to 1. It can potentially play for a play cost of 1 with all of the Digicross requirements, and it has material save 2, on play, draw 2, end of attack, By placing all the Digivolution cards from under this Digimon under one of your Tamers, you can unsuspend one of your Tamers and delete this Digimon. So you can essentially go into Xcros, go for the swing, then kill itself, and then use those Xcros requirements for another card in case you have it. Moving on to the level 5s, there aren't too many in our build. We're running 3 of the Shoutmon X5. Shoutmon X5 is really strong too because it has a Sec +1 built in, it has 10k DP, and it can Digicross essentially for 0 if you have all the pieces. It also has blocker in case you need to use it for blocker, and if you have Sparrowmon you can get the reboot. If it has Shoutmon you can get the rush, so you can go ahead and play this card, get a rush and a reboot and its blocker, and you're feeling good after that. Shoutmon X5 is very strong. Next, we're going to be running 2 of the Omni Shoutmon. We're playing 2 Omni Shoutmon, but I could see you guys upping this to 3 in case you need to get more Omni Shoutmons in play. It can Digivolve 4 off of Shoutmon, so it can go from the level 3 to the level 5. It has a when Digivolving effect. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. If this Digimon has Shoutmon in its Digivolution cards, you can delete 2 of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 or less. So he pretty much is just removing board essentially with that on Digivolve effect. It has on deletion save and an inheritable. When this Digimon is Shoutmon in its name, this Digimon gets Sec +1. Moving on to our level 6s, we're going to be running 2 of the Xcros. On Digivolve, it unsuspends. Then if a card with Blue Flare or Xcros is in its traits and your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, you can gain 2 memory. So you can essentially make this a cheap Evo in case those rules apply on the field. It serves as Xcros, which is going to be needed for the level 6 boss monster that we'll be talking about later for a Digicross card. And it also has an on deletion save mechanic. You can place Blue Flare, Greymon, or Male Bird, but in our situation we're not playing any of those cards, so it's just going to serve as Xcros. It also has a blocker inheritable if this Digimon has Blue Flare in its traits, which we're going to be showing later on. Next, we're going to be running 2 of the Shoutmon DX. What's cool about this card, it serves as an Omni Shoutmon and a Xcros. So in case you don't have those cards in your hand and you have this card instead, you can serve this card as a Digicross requirement. It has an on-play effect. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 8000 DP or less. One of your opponent's Digimon may not attack or block until the end of your opponent's next turn. End of attack, by deleting this Digimon, you can gain 1 memory. So if you Digicross here with Omni Shoutmon Xcros, you can make this a cheaper Evo, and then when you go back to your turn, swing with this card, delete this card to gain 1 memory in case you need it for Digicross requirements. Next on the level 6 lineup, we're going to be running 2 of the Mervamons. This card is actually really good for Xcross. It has an on play or when Digivolving. You may play 1 purple level 4 or lower Digimon card, or 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card with Xcross in its traits, which in our deck, all those cards are going to apply in its traits from your trash without paying its memory cost. If Digicrossing, add 1 to the number of cards you can play with this effect. So you can essentially bring 2 Digimon with Xcross back from your trash onto the field and even use those as Digimon as Digicross requirements in case you need to. So Mervamon is a good recycle card and bringing cards back, and it says all turns, all of your Digimon with Retaliation or with Xcross in its traits gain rush and blockers. They're really solid effects. And then lastly for our boss monster, it is the big bad Shoutmon X7 himself. He has rush built in, material save 4. On play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon's damage, which again circles back to why that Shoutmon King is kind of helpful, because if you need to pop something that's bigger than 13k, you can go ahead and use that. And it says all turns, for every 2 cards in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. So that's further monstrosity on that all turns effect. It has a Digicross -2, where it needs Omni Shoutmon, Xcros, Ballistamon, Darulamon, Starmons, and Sparrowmons, potentially making Shoutmon X7 a 2 play cost, which would be absolutely wild. Shoutmon is going to be a very strong when you get all those pieces involved. Lastly, we're going to be moving over to the Tamers. There's a lot of Tamers in this build, so let's go ahead and cover some of those. First, we're going to be running the 3 of Taiki Kudo. Add 1 card with Xcross in its traits among them to your hand and place 1 Digimon card with Xcross under this Tamer. So you're basically revealing top 4, taking a card, putting it to your hand, and putting one under Taiki to kind of get to your pieces a lot faster. Next, we're going to be talking about the 3 of Zenjiro. Zenjiro has an on play. You may play one Ballistamon from your hand or from under your Tamers without paying its cost. So Ballistamon, if in case you used it earlier and it dies, it goes under your Tamer. You can then slap Zenjiro down to get Ballistamon back up, making it a cool blocker. When you play a Digimon with Xcros and its traits, for example, when you play the Ballistamon, you can suspend Zenjiro and gain 1 memory. Next, we're going to be running 2 of the Akari Hinamoto. Akari is on play, where you may play one Darulamon from your hand or from under one of your Tamers without paying its memory cost. So it essentially does what Zenjiro does, but plays a Darulamon instead. Your turn, when you play a Digimon with Xcros and its traits, you can suspend this Tamer to draw 1. So Akari is good for more drawing. And then next we're going to be talking about the new Taiki, Kira, and Nene Tamer. This is a 4-play cost, and it has a start of your main phase by placing one Digimon card with Xcross or Blue Flare in its traits under this Tamer, gain 1 memory, and draw 1. So in case you need to get more searching and you need to get more memory up, you can go ahead and tuck one of your Blue Flares in to gain that memory at the start of your main. Also has a your turn effect. When you play one Digimon with Xcross requirements, by suspending this Tamer, you may place the cards from under this Tamer as Digicross requirement cards. So it's another way of just being able to protect your material save cards with this Tamer. And then the last card we're going to be running is one Kira Anamua. So mainly Kira is just going to be used as your memory setter, and then you can also use this card and use Digicrosses as well. And that's going to go ahead and finish the deck profile. If you guys like this video, be sure to give this a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comment section how you feel about Shoutmon moving forward in this format. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you guys into the next deck profile video. Take care.